Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to create a radial progress bar in Unreal. So this is what we are going to create at the end of this episode, and here we have the percent value. You can change it from 0 to 1 or 100%. Here, as you change this value, you can see the field color is changing. So yeah, this is basically what we are going to implement today. First, we will create a material, a UI material that can handle this custom progress style image rendering, and then we will set up a custom widget. So here is the widget that we have created. Radial WPP radial progress. You can drag and drop here, and you get the widget. Just like any other widget, and here you can set the value. So this is what you are going to have. Okay, so before we get started, I may remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done in my channel from my Patreon page. To the date, there are over 2000 videos, and for each video, project files are available. Once you become a member, you can access anything without any limits. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave the link in description below. Right, now let's get back to today's tutorial. Okay, so let's start with a new folder. Call it UI. Here, if I go to user interface, widget blueprint, WBP, press, no, radial progress. Okay, now let me open this. So if you just look into what is existing, we have this progress bar, which we can set the percentage like this. So basically this is all we got. We don't have a radial progress bar. So what I want to do is a progress bar that feels in a circular way. Okay, so first thing we need is we would need a material that we can simulate a circular progress. So let's create a material UI first. So this we need to change the material domain to user interface. Now it changes like this, and now we can use this material for UI elements in UMG. Okay, now first step I want to do is having something like this, a perfect circle, not like this, and then this would be the background, and on top of it the fill-in amount should be like this. That's the way I want it to happen. 0 means here, 1 means it is fully filled. Okay, so to get that circle, a thick circle, we can actually use a texture too, but I want to implement it in a dynamic way using the code so that we can manage, like, adjust the thickness of the line, things like that. Right, so first I'll get the texture coordinate, and if I subtract this with 0.5, so what this does is, this is a 2D coordinate. The top left will be 0, 0, and bottom right will be 1, 1. If I just print it, this is what you get. Okay, so if I print this, this is what you get. In the middle it becomes 0. As you go further, no, not yet. So here what we are doing is we get the difference between the middle point and whatever the point that we consider. So if we consider the length, this is vector 2, so the length of the line from the point to the middle. If I print that, this is what we get. As we come closer to the center, it becomes 0. As we go to the edge, it becomes 0.5, larger than 0. I think this point is 0.5, and this point, this distance would be a bit larger than that. Okay, now if we want to figure out a line here, we can do something like this. If I put this in a if node, and if I want to consider the distance, if I want to have only the distance larger than, let's say, 0.5, yeah, if it is larger than 0, larger than 0.5, I'll do the constant value 0. If it is less than 0.5, you constant 1 for this. And if I print this, now this is what you get. You get a perfect circle. Now if you need a thicker line instead of a filled circle, what you can do is this. If I subtract this with, as I said, this distance is 0.5. So if I subtract, let's say 0.4 and put it here, if this is, now here we need to consider absolute value because we get minus values as well. And here, if this is less than, let's say, 0.1, we get a shape like this. Now let's call this, let's call this thickness. Here, if you make it 0.05, it's going to be thinner. 0.01, it's like this. 0.2, it's like this, but we can't have anything larger than 0.1 because this 0.4, the maximum difference between 0.5 and 0.4 is only 0.1. So I'll add a parameter. Here, let's set a slider. Slider mean, let's say 0.01. Slider max is 0.1. So we get this. Okay, now it works. Okay, now here this value should be 0.5 minus thickness, and this value can be directly thickness. Okay, now here you can change it like this. Okay, alright, now we have the line that we need to fill. The next step is figuring out the filling part. So for that, we can use this vector here, and then we can use vector to radial value. And we can use this converted angle. Again, we can put this into a if node, and here field value just like before. We can use something similar to that. If I simply multiply this, here, this value, if I make it 0.2, you can see now it starts filling up. 1, it's fully filled. Point 1, it's not filled. It's filled, so it's starting to fill from here. If I go to paint, it starts to fill from this point to this point. So it would be ideal if the starting point is here and fills this way. So if you want to do that, you can put this into a custom rotator, and the rotation center should be center. That means 0.5 by 0.5, and the rotation angle quarter is 0.25. See, now it's starting from here. So if I make this 0, it's like this, 0.01, like this. Now let's promote this to a scalar parameter. Let's call it percent because that's the same parameter name used for the straight line progress bar as well. Min 0, max 1. Now here, change this. See, this is how it changes. Okay, so now here we have a way to fill, but here, as you can see, it's changing either black or white. Now if you want two colors, then what you can do is you can have a vector parameter. Let's say it's green or blue, and another vector parameter. What should we call that? Oh, make it darker blue, something like this. And here we can love this too. Love means linear interpolate. And we can put this value for looping. And the multiplication should connect it here. See? Now it produces the colors. Here, if I make it like this, you can see now the progress is, we can use this to show the progress. Okay, now apply this. This is all we need to do in the material itself here. Now let's implement the widget. So here I'll add a border. The reason that I add a border is we can put something like a text inside this. That's why. So now under the brush, I'll use this MUI progress material. Now we get something like this. If I wrap this with the size box, well, size box doesn't make any effect here because we don't have a canvas panel, but you can set the scale correctly the size correctly if you put this in another widget. When you actually use it, you will of course put this in another widget. So WP test. Here I can now add radial progress. Oh, before that, let's add a canvas panel. Then radial progress. And now we can set the scale like this. Okay, so the background is black. Let's fix that. Here, this is opaque. So if I make it masked, or you can either use translucent as well, whatever you prefer. You can put this. Now let's see, the background is transparent. Only this part is filled. Okay, now let's see how to customize the parameters. So for that, here, let's add a function. Let's add an input. Percent. This should be a float between 0 and 1. So I'll make this border. Let's call it radial, whatever you want to call it. And here we can get dynamic material and then set scalar parameter value. Parameter name is percent. Here, before I put it here, I'll clamp this just to be safe. But I don't think anything would happen even if I don't. Between 0 and 1. Okay, and also I want this to a variable called percent. And I'll make this editable from outside. And here, right, oh here, reconstruct. I'll call set percent with the percent value given. Okay. Now, if you go to WBP test, percent value here is 0. You can make it 1.5 like this. Hold on. Here I can put larger values too, which doesn't make sense. But we can do the clamp in here. Put it like this. Now let's see. It doesn't go beyond 1. It stays within the given range. Okay, so that's pretty much all. If you want to show something like the percentage in the middle, well, you can here and the text. Enter it. Yeah, font. I'll leave the default font. here that we need to make this variable. Call it text value. Make it a variable. Get the text value. Get the percent. If I want to show this like a percent value, let's multiply this by 100. Compare it. Then that, that. Here, let's do a string to text so that I can append easily this value, and at the end let's add a percentage mark like this. Now here you see 64%, 100%. See, now it changes. So yeah, that's basically how it works. And of course, if you want this to be bigger, because I don't think this text size scales up as we do, you can change the font size of this text, or you can add a function to change the font size and bind it just like we bind the percent value. But I don't want to do that here. But I guess you can now understand how the process works. Alright, so that's all. And thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available here for download in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And if you like to support my work, consider taking the membership of the Patreon Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in another tutorial. Goodbye.